Hey, it's Melissa. Welcome to my $100,000 stock experiment, year 4, week 15, ending July 23rd, 2021. I'm sharing my journey in an attempt to be a great can slim stock trader. Right now, I think I'm an okay trader. I'm just sharing my journey with you so you can learn from my mistakes and celebrate my successes. I'm not giving an endorsement to purchase any stocks that I bought or to buy stocks in general. According to the IBD at investors.com, the market is back in a confirmed uptrend. It had been in an uptrend under pressure from Friday, July 16th to Friday, July 23rd when it resumed the uptrend. I updated my trading rule and styles recently. I always have a stop limit floor, but I'd like to have my average loss closer to 4%. My max right now is a floor that's 8% below the purchase price. I also want to focus on fewer stocks, staggered buys, staggered sells, and I want to try and take some profits on the way up. The S&P 500 had a rough couple of weeks. I added the yellow line on 7-Eleven at 4,257 as a point at which I felt would be a point of support and resistance. The week ending 7/16, the S&P 500 closed below the 8-day simple moving average, the diagonal pink line. I put the yellow arrow indicating the stay. Then on Monday, 7/19, the red arrow shows that the S&P 500 dropped below my yellow line in its stand at 42.57 and closed just about that point. This, plus the fact that all my recent purchases had sold, spooked me and I stopped trading for the week. This was a mistake because Tuesday on 7/20, shown with that green arrow, this was a big support day and I should have been buying some stocks back. I like to see the daily fluctuation from the high to the low for the S&P 500 to be less than 1%. You can see on July 16th, 19th, and 20th, I have those highlighted in yellow where the high to low was over 1%. That's not really a good environment for me. But on Friday, July 23rd, you can see the S&P 500 closed at another all-time high. Week 14 of my experiment, which ended July 16th, I sold AMD, which had been a new purchase, Roku, which had been a new purchase, and my B3 of Zscaler. My NVIDIA, which I had held for my longest buy for 5 weeks, also triggered a sell. And then week 15, which ended July 23rd, I saw all 3 buys of Pool sell, my B3 of PayPal, and my B2 of Zscaler all sold. Roku I bought on Monday, July 12th, and 4 days later on the 15th, it had sold for an 8% loss. I got a little spooked because all 3 of my buys from July 12th all sold by Thursday, July 15th. Then on Monday, July 19th, the S&P tanked, but Roku had a super strong support day. I have that in yellow. And it closed the week super strong. Reminder, pay attention to the stock market and what your stocks are doing or your stocks that have just sold are doing because they may be recovering. AMD, Advanced Micro Devices. AMD also sold on July 15th after I bought it on July 12th. I held it just those 4 days and I had a 5.2% loss. The green arrow shows where I purchased it. The green arrow and that green line shows where I purchased it. The red is where it sold, and the yellow arrow is where it showed strength and where I should have bought it back. NVIDIA Corp, stock symbol NVDA. NVIDIA is one of my longer holdings. I've held it between 3 and 5 weeks, and all of my buys triggered a sell. First on Thursday, July 15th, and then B1 and B2 triggered on Friday, July 16th. A week and a day later, on July 26th, I did go and buy NVIDIA back. So perhaps I should be using my 50-day simple moving average for my floor for some of my position. I had 3 buys in NVIDIA. My B1 I held for 5 weeks and I had a gain of 3.9%. My B2 I held for 3.8 weeks and I had a loss of 1.3%. And my B3 I held for 3.2 weeks and I was down 0.2%. Pool Corp, stock symbol POOL. I was in this stock at the wrong time. I want to be in it when it's accelerating like the green arrow, but I was in it at the yellow arrow when it was going sideways. I had 3 buys in this. My B1 I held for 6.4 weeks and I had a 1.5% gain. My B2 I held for 4 weeks and a day and I lost 1.2%. And my B3 I held just under 4 weeks and I lost 1.1%. I did make one purchase. On 7/22, I made a purchase of my Viva Systems, a B2. My trigger went off and I went in and made the purchase. Every time I make a purchase, I set a stop limit order as my floor. I used to have a max of 8%, which I still have that max, but I'd like to get my average loss closer to a negative 4%. And every week I review my charts and see if I can move up my floor. Zscaler Inc., stock symbol ZS. I got bounced out of my B3 on Wednesday, 7/14, 2 days after I purchased it. And then on Monday, 7/19, when the S&P 500 had that big drop, I got bounced out of my B2. Plus, I had previously had a B2 and a B3 purchase that I also got bounced out of. So I think I'm just going to hold this as a half position and see if I can get a 20% gain in my B1. I've held my B1 for 5 weeks and a day and I'm up 9.4%. And I did raise my B1 floor to my 31-day exponential moving average, which is at 218.86, basically a break even. My B2 I held for a 1.6 weeks and I had a 4% loss, and my B3 I also had a 4% loss and I held that one just for 3 days. I like to add to positions as they prove themselves. Viva System, stock symbol VEEV. On Thursday, my alert went off to make a B2 purchase. So I went ahead and made that. That's my one purchase this week. I have 2 buys in Viva. My B1 I've held for 2.5 weeks and I'm up 3.9%. And my B2 I've held just the 2 days and I'm up 1.4%. And I did set my floor for both my B1 and my B2 at 4% below the purchase price. I also have an alert set to make a B3 purchase at 336.71. We'll see if it triggers in the next week. Don't let a double-digit gain turn into a loss. PayPal Holdings Inc., stock symbol PYPL. I got bounced out of my B3 on Monday, 7/19, in that big S&P 500 drop. Should I buy it back? I don't know. Earnings are after market closes on Wednesday coming up, so I think I'm going to hold off buying another position in this. My B1 I've held for 5 weeks and a day and I'm up 11.1%. My B2 I've held for 5 weeks and I'm up 8.7%. And I do have a floor on both of those at the 31-day exponential moving average at 290.17. Apple Inc., stock symbol AAPL. Apple has earnings coming up before the market opens on Tuesday. I have 4 purchases in Apple. My B1 I've held for 6 weeks and I'm up 14.5%. My B2 I've held for 5 weeks and I'm up 12.5%. My B3 I've held just under 4 weeks and I'm up 9%. And my B4 I've held for 2 weeks and a day and I'm up 2.3%. I did raise my floor on my B1, 2, and 3 to the 31-day exponential moving average at 140.06, and then I raised the floor on my B4 to the 16-day simple moving average, which is 144.73. Generac Holdings Inc., stock symbol GNRC. This is the stock that I've held the longest in my portfolio. My B1 purchase I've held for 12 weeks and it's up 37.9%. Yay! My B2 I've held for just under 7 weeks and it's up 30.5%. My B3 I've held just over 5 weeks and I'm up 18.1%. I did raise the floor for all 3 of them to the 31-day exponential moving average at 410.91. You can see that momentum slowing because that pink diagonal line, which is the 8-day simple moving average, is getting closer to the 16-day green line, the 16-day simple moving average. And earnings are on Wednesday before market open, so I hope to see this go up. I did take some profits at week 8. I was up 26% and I took a profit that had a gain of $508. Here's the percentage change for my current holdings. I like the way all of these are looking. Apple is super nice, steadily increasing each week. Generac in the brown, the first 5 weeks were a struggle, and it's had a really nice gain since then, with a little drop the week ending 7/16. PayPal also had that drop in 7/16, but it recovered nicely. It's in the green. Viva is just starting out, and it's up 4%. You can see, and Zscaler also had this up and down for the first few weeks, but now is up 9%. This is the current dollar value gain on my B1 purchase only, and I sort those with the lowest value on the top. So I have a gain in every stock. Viva just has a small gain after 3 weeks because each box represents 1 week. Viva has a $385 gain after 3 weeks. Zscaler, PayPal, Apple, I've all held for the 6 weeks, and you can see the gain there. And Generac, that one has dropped off to the right because I've held it more than the 10 weeks. And I show my profit taking down at the bottom. So Generac on the week ending 7/2, I did take that $508 gain in that stock. My weekly percentage change, I also sort with the lowest value on the top. I like my stocks to all beat the S&P 500 and go up at least 1% a week. Apple's in the red box because it didn't beat the S&P 500 last week. But the week ending 7/16, Apple was the only stock listed that did beat the S&P 500 that week. The benchmark is showing that the Melissa Method experiment and the S&P 500 growth for the 3 years and 15 weeks I've been doing this experiment are coming together. I'm only beating the S&P 500 by about $300. So if 3 years and 15 weeks ago I would have put my money in the S&P 500, I would have been at just about the same spot, which is a little discouraging, but I think I can improve. The week-to-week change showing how my portfolio has changed from last week to this week. My current holdings went up a total of 3,534. Stocks that I held last week sold this week, went down $546, and then my new purchase went up $81. The weekly change for the S&P 500 shown down at the bottom on the left-hand side shows that the S&P 500 for the week ending 7/23 went up 2% versus the Melissa Method on the right-hand side went up 1.9%, which is okay to me because I wasn't fully invested. For year to date, I'm up 0.1% and the S&P 500 is up 17.5%, which is terrible for me and good for it. And my experiment year, which started mid-April, I have a loss of 3%, and the S&P 500 is up 6.9%. The industry breakdown shows that I'm most heavily weighted in cash. I have $72,000 in cash that I can put to work this week if I find some stocks I want to invest in. And then I'm most heavily weighted in Apple, where I have 4 purchases, followed by Generac, where I have 3 purchases. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for my next episode, or better yet, subscribe to my channel, The Melissa Method. You can also find me at Twitter. Remember to give me a thumbs up if you like what you see, or leave a comment if you like. Thanks. Bye.